My week of pain reading these horrible, horrible comics continues. Like I said, this has got to be the weirdest, worst week when it comes to comics ever. I'm like, everything I'm just going through here is just terrible. Really and truly terrible. And it just has no intention of ever getting any better in any way, shape, or form. So let's look at Exceptional X-Men #1. I knew this was going to be a disaster. From the beginning, I knew this was going to be a disaster. I said so when I was reviewing the X-Men titles that they were putting out. I said this is going to be an absolute freaking disaster. And oh yeah, shockingly, it is an absolute freaking disaster. Let's dive into it and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, Exceptional X-Men begins with Kitty Pryde, who's now in Chicago after the events of what happened with Krakoa and Orchis and all of this stuff. She's working as a bartender and, she needs to keep busy because she doesn't want to think about something other. So she's there mixing drinks and all kind of thing. And then, the owner tells her to take a, take a break or other. And then she's about, I don't want 5 minutes. I don't want 30 seconds alone with my thoughts. She goes outside and she's having like a literal panic attack. All that you have new God stuff is back to bite us hard. Professor X is gone, Krakoa's gone, and I don't like who I became. I don't like it. So all of a sudden, she don't like the fact that she was killing people left, right, and center. Because that is what Kitty Pryde was doing. You understand me? She was killing people like it had no tomorrow. She was shoving gun into people's head, putting grenades in guys' chests, phasing people halfway through concrete and leaving them to die. You name it, she was doing it. And as for Krakoa, like I said, the X-Men turned into everything that they should have never been. They became with Krakoa, everything. And now this is supposed to be this. So she's outside there having some panic attack because, she doesn't want to think about what she did. You were murdering people and quite happy to do it. You didn't want to stop. Nobody could tell you to stop. You were out there like, everybody had to die because you say so. But now, all of a sudden, she's getting panic attacks and she needs to sit down and think about some kind of thing for anxiety. Like somebody's supposed to freaking care. So then she goes back in to the bar and there's these two black guys, they're talking. And this one is saying, I don't know, I feel like a lot of mutants have done really good things. And the next one says, okay, but it only takes a few of them to decide to eradicate all of us. That's enough to make them dangerous. The same could be said about a lot of superheroes. Not just mutants. The same could be said about a lot of them. But again, I understand the concept of why they would be worried by that. But, this is stuff that they've already covered when it comes to mutants. But they're going back to the well-known and act like it's somehow relevant today. You understand me? And she's talking in her mind and saying, I'm the girl who walks through walls. Other than that, I look like what they call normal. I can pass. And then the two guys are continuing saying, they said they were our gods. How are we supposed to take that? I'm glad their ringleader is locked up. You hate to see it come to that, but I feel like it's also them. And then there's this mutant sitting at the end of the bar drinking there, and they're watching him, and it's like, it's not the major ones that scare me. The government has them handled. It's the everyday weirdo muties. I know there's one on my daughter's soccer team and the family is friendly, but it just turns my stomach. You're black. What the hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? Have you suddenly forgotten, the persecution that your ancestors endured, but now somehow you're doing it when it comes to mutants? I mean, I could understand a few of them saying that, okay, they're scared of the mutants. Okay, all right. when they're sitting there acting like, this is somehow like still in the 1940s or something, where segregation was happening and it kind of freaks people out kind of thing. But now it's for mutants. Absolutely ridiculous, boy. Utterly ridiculous. She goes back to her apartment, has some roommate there, I don't really care. But then they get to this thing where she's looking at the TV. And this is the news that they're trying to put here, because they're basically trying to act like being a mutant now was like having AIDS in the 1980s or something, where, it could be contagious and all this kind of nonsense. And this first thing here with this news report is mutancy contagious. Reports out of San Francisco tonight indicate, at this point, it should be pretty common to know that, mutants are just an evolution of the human species, and that's the long and short of it. Then they get to this next one where this girl who, she has the long fingernails and she's like, then he starts crying, and guys, it was so awkward. Like, I'm not prejudiced, but and the byline reads, accidentally went on a date with a mutant. Like this is somehow some big thing now, because like apparently when she found out like he was a mutant, he started crying and was. I think they're acting like if being a mutant is having AIDS in the 80s. It doesn't make any kind of sense how they're trying to play this off, but for some reason they figure, well, it could just work out somehow. That's it, it could just work out somehow. And the next one here with you see Cyclops and magic and so it's just like here, this is the first step towards radical mutant live. Like, supposed to care about this. Apparently Kitty has some date. You understand me? And she goes out for this date there, and then she's looking around and realizes that, she might have gotten stood up and thing. And apparently her date is with a woman, because now all of a sudden Kitty Pryde is bisexual again. Even though they literally did this like it was like 4 years ago, and this whole thing was suddenly Kitty Pryde is bisexual and all kind of stuff. Look, Chris Claremont is one of the premier X-Men writers. Nobody denying that. But during the man's run, he was going into some weird kind of fetish shit he was doing, that, you kind of got to acknowledge what was going on, because he was the one who originally wanted to make Mystique Nightcrawler's father, and they were like, nah. So he wanted to do some kind of stuff. He actually wanted Kitty Pryde to be all sorts of angles and all sorts of up and down and all this kind of nonsense. But that's neither here nor there, because she then gets to realize that, oh wait, her date isn't for tonight, it's for tomorrow night. She got the days mixed up. And oh, this is her only night off. But I tell you, they even did this article about how she's going on this date with this girl, because everybody needs to be gay or bisexual now. Everybody. Doesn't matter what you do, that is supposed to be your number one priority when it comes to everything. God. And she realizes that the crowd is different, all kind of thing, and someone else. So she realizes, she's not going to be. She mixed up the date. She mixed up the days. But she decides that, she's going to go and check this thing out, because she's single and fun and all of this nonsense. And the whole dialogue just looks stupid and all of that. But then this absolutely ridiculous and disturbing event plays off. And I want to tell you exactly why it's disturbing. Yeah? Because there's this girl who is trying to get into the concert. She has the ticket and everything. Right? But the bouncer is saying entry is at the discretion of the venue and management. Right now, I'm the management. And a friend was going there with the boy, but the friends and them say, you'll have to see you later, all kind of thing. And apparently, I'm guessing the guy doesn't want to let her in because she's a mutant. But you have absolutely no way of knowing that this girl is a mutant. It's not obvious. She doesn't have mutant colored skin or anything like that, or look like a mutant, anything at all. She's just a black girl with pink hair in a ridiculous outfit. And everybody who's going into this concert is wearing ridiculous outfits. So I don't know how this guy picked her out. I have no idea how this guy picked out and decided that, he's not going to let her in, because you don't know if her friends are mutants either. But somehow he just picks her out and decides not to let her in. It doesn't make any kind of sense at all. And then he decides he is just going to push her. I said get moving and push her. That's it. And then this girl goes through what could only be described as some kind of drug-induced multiple personality, strange bipolar disorder kind of craziness is the way to put it. Because he pushes her, and then she just goes absolutely batshit crazy. You understand me? Gets metal skin and some tentacle-like things around her arms and shouts out, "Don't touch me." And then tosses the guy back. You understand? He literally throws the guy back. And then he comes back to attack her, and she's using the metal tentacles to wrap him up. Understand me? I don't even know how this is going on, what's happening. I have no idea. But Kitty decides, that's not my thing. I'm going to walk away and leave. But then she hears a gunshot and realizes that the guy has a gun. So she runs back there. And a guy is just there. "I warned you, you mutant freak." And she's on the ground. "Leave me alone." Like, you literally just freaked out and attacked the guy. You understand me? But like I said, this whole thing makes no sense. I don't know how did he originally know that she was a mutant? We never find out. Right? He pushes her and she literally flips out and attacks him. So he's well within his right to defend himself. And like I said, she has metal skin and metal tentacle kind of thing. And he pulls out a gun to shoot. And last time I checked, bullets bounce off of metal, but she's acting like, he's about to murder her for some reason. And then it just happens, he fires the shot, but Kitty Pryde gets to her in time. And when he touches her, she touches her, the bullet phases right through her. And then she takes her, phases her through the wall inside of the concert, and they're running through there, all this and the other, and the security is looking for them, which they have a right to do, because this girl is clearly a danger to people around her. She literally freaked out and attacked people because of this stuff. But no, they're trying to play this off like it's something it's not supposed to be. So they're darting through the crowd, all kind of thing. And then this one girl says to her, "Oh my God, I love your makeup." And she's, "Thank you." So again, how did you know this girl was a mutant? Because if she had looked like this, she could just easily say it was makeup. But she did not look like this kind of bronze-looking skin color thing. She didn't have a bronze girl. She was just a normal-looking black girl with pink hair and a stupid outfit. That's it. There was absolutely no way that you could possibly know that she was a mutant. But somehow, this security guard, who apparently is some kind of psychic, was just able to pick her out, and that was it. Ay, boy. Yeah. They run through the crowd, then they end up in the security office. Kitty phases through people, all kind of thing. They take off out of there, go and phase it through stuff again, takes her to her car. They get in, tell her to buckle up, and they take off driving. And the girl is literally smiling the whole time. Like I say, this girl is going through some kind of weird bipolar disorder, because her emotions are just everywhere. So Kitty's getting in the car and the driver, and then she literally says to her, here you go, hon. Where to? And she's like, what's this? Collateral. If I try to kidnap you, you can jump out and take my ID with you. How is that any kind of common sense? I don't know. I literally don't know. Because you have shown that you have the ability to phase through things. How is she going to get out? And if she decides to jump out of the car, you can just phase out of it and literally phase your hand through her chest and kill her or something like that, because you've done that already. We saw you murdering left, right, and center with Orcus, but somehow giving her your ID card is collateral so you don't kidnap her. Like, what idiot thought this whole thing made any sense? But no, it gets even dumber, because after she tells her to literally put her address into the GPS and she'll take her home, then the girl who was smiling the whole time literally just breaks down, starts to cry, and she's like, I'm so embarrassed. I've never been in a fight. Everyone saw me turn into a metal monster, and that guy was so mean and it was an accident. You literally had somebody shoot at you, but you're, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I've never been in a fight, and that guy was so mean. What is wrong with this girl? Seriously, what the hell is wrong with this girl? She literally, I mean, her problem shouldn't even be being a mutant. She needs serious medication. That's what she needs. I mean, like, serious medication. And she's just freaking out, and she's like, I will never recover from this. And now I'm crying in front of a stranger, which is even worse. Like, everything about this is wrong. And then she just, like, take a breath, you will recover, and you're not a monster, you're a mutant, and she's same thing. Don't say that being a mutant is something to be proud of. Like, all of a sudden, being a mutant makes you a monster. I mean, like, there are dozens of heroes in the Marvel universe who have amazing powers. Nobody thinks of them as monsters. And yes, I do understand that is the whole thing when it comes to mutants, protecting our world that fears and hates them. But it doesn't make sense, people. It doesn't make sense anymore what they're trying to do. And then she's back to smiling gleefully, like literally 1 second later. And she's, well, you saved me and you handle yourself pretty well. That's pretty cool. If that's what being a mutant is, when you learn all that strategy, and Kitty's all about, I sort of went to school for it. You measured in battle tactics. And she's about, don't you have any friends who are mutants? Not that I know of except you. You can be my friend. Like, seriously, this girl is beyond. Her emotions change like a literal clock. 1 minute she's good, next minute she's good, next minute she's... It's really freaking disturbing. This girl is absolutely deranged. So Kitty drops her off home and stuff and thing, and she goes inside there, and her grandmother is there because, they must have this elderly grandmother who's gonna, and the grandmother is all, come here, honey. But I see all those things they say about your kind of people terrible, and she's about, now you listen to me. You come from strong people, you hear me? But grandma, I don't want to be strong. I just want to be myself. I understand that, I do, but listen, somebody ever tries to bother you, give them hell, baby girl. Like, apparently this is supposed to be like, black people in the 1940s or something. I don't know. This makes no sense. And then, the next morning, when Kitty is looking to leave for work, she sees a present there, and it's from the girl, and when she opens it, a whole bunch of confetti and thing comes flying out, and she left a whole bunch of stuff, like some pens and some airing. I can tell that she leave a note for Kitty, my hero, mutant pride, because apparently being a mutant now is being gay for some reason. I don't even freaking know what this is supposed to be about. That's it. That's the nonsense and the long and short of it. And then they have this kind of epilogue at the end where Emma Frost is psychically searching for people and all kind of things, checking on Banshee, on Aurora, on Bishop, on Logan, on Kurt, and then you know she gets to Kitty and she decides to telepathically connect with her like that's supposed to be something. This is a stupid comic. I don't know, but this is a really, really stupid comic. Kitty Pryde in this was just an absolute nut job who needed help. That girl needs to be on enough medication to fill an entire hospital ward because her emotions are all over the freaking place. Trying to play this thing like you know being mutants is like having like AIDS in the 80s. And then, you know, the whole, it just made no sense. It just made absolutely no sense at all. It's another terrible, terrible book. You know your thoughts on this in the comments. You have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.